Hello, hello. I'm so excited to see you all. Let me go ahead and open up the PowerPoint and we'll get started on today's presentation. I have to tell you that I have a son and he is crazy about superheroes. And I've watched a lot of movies with him that maybe I wouldn't have watched if I didn't have my son. So I don't know how many of you are familiar with like the Marvel comics and the Star Wars series and all kinds of superheroes out there. Batman, Superman, I think I've seen them all. But what I take away from those movies is that there are people in the world that we should be really proud of. And I think those are the superheroes. And during this pandemic, I think it's been our healthcare professionals, but honestly, I think it's also been the teachers because we have had a huge responsibility in educating children and adults during this very difficult time. So I want to honor all of you tonight as superheroes. So let's get started. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to define teacher skills and superpowers. I'm going to ask you to please turn on your camera in a few moments because I want to take a photograph of all of you being a superhero. We're going to review backwards design, which is just a way of looking at material design and lesson design. And then we're going to look at some resources because I think right now we are all looking for new resources. We're going to do a quick reflection on our materials development and our own superpowers. And then finally, we'll check out the Tech for Teaching website. What I would like to have you do now is if you could please think for a few moments about skills or characteristics you think effective teachers have. And I heard some of those in the Flipgrid videos. So some of you were reading my mind and knew that this is what we were going to talk about tonight. So if you could please, in the chat box, think of at least 3 skills that you think really good teachers possess, or 3 characteristics that teachers have that make them effective. So I'm going to open up my chat box and watch those come in. So I'll give you a few moments to add your ideas to the chat box. Listening, speaking, and writing skills. Absolutely. I think effective teachers of English especially have those skills. Thank you. Humorous, sensitive, and hardworking. Love it. Love it. Highly motivated, creative, ready to change, being able to adapt. Totally agree. Flexibility, time management skills, problem-solving skills. Yes, yes, yes. Creative, healthy, hardworking. Patient, hardworking, creative, patient, creative. I love them. Communication skills, humorous, creative, sharing, listening, flexibility, humorous, patient, fair, flexible. Yes, yes, yes. Patient, creative, creative, funny, creative. There's another creative. Interpersonal communication skills. Love children. Thank you. If you don't love children, I think it's difficult to teach them. Caring, sharing, communication skills, flexibility. I could not agree more. I'm going to show you a list in a few moments of the 10 top skills that a website called Indeed.com has put together for teachers. And you're going to see that many of these skills are ones that you are putting in the chat box right now. Listening, collaborative, engaging, communication skills. Absolutely. Let me give you about 1 more minute. If anybody else wants to add their ideas there. I'm seeing a common skills here that we all seem to agree on. Well, let me go ahead and keep those ideas coming in. I'll check the chat box in a few moments. Let me go ahead and show you the top 10 mindfulness. Ooh, like that one. The top 10 skills that this website has put together. And they got these skills from teacher advertisements that are across the United States. So when schools advertise for teachers, they put in these key words. And so these words are reflected in their top 10. Let me see if I can show you that now. So the top 10 skills or characteristics. Do we need a drum roll? Here we go. We have, and they're not, I don't think in order of preference, these are just the top 10 in no order of preference. Critical thinking skills, which is what we've talked about in one of our webinars. Patience, hello, how many of you said patience? Communication skills, when we talked about the listening and speaking and writing skills. Organization, don't teachers need to be organized? Imaginative thinking. I can't tell you how many people wrote creative. That's exactly, I think, what they're talking about here. Leadership skills, being able to take control of a classroom and being able to lead through example. Teamwork, working with your colleagues, working with small groups in the classroom. Time management, got to make sure that we're always aware of the time and how much time we have to do things. Technological skills, which is something that maybe you didn't need 30 years ago, but it's certainly important today. And then finally, the ability to resolve conflicts, to be able to make peace with students and with faculty members and with parents. So those are the top 10 skills that this website came up with. And those are pulled from job advertisements in the United States. But I imagine that those are skills that Vietnamese administrators are looking for as well in teachers. But the purpose of this presentation is not so much to talk about skills as superpowers. And you might be thinking, Amy, what are you talking about? Well, let me show you this fabulous website. It's called the Superhero Database. And if you have some time on your hands, and if you have some young children, check out this website, because on this website, there's over 900,000 links to superheroes. And what I like about this website is that it gives you characters, different characters who are superheroes, and it tells you their powers. So let me stop the share for a moment and go into the database itself so that you can see what I'm talking about. So let's see if I can share that. And here we have, this is the actual database. And if you click on the powers, you can see that it says there's 446 superpowers. And honestly, I think teachers have most of these superpowers, except maybe not being able to fly. Maybe we can't make ourselves invisible, but we still have, I think, a lot of these superpowers and abilities because we are, I think, superheroes. So once you get into this website, you can click on any of these powers and it will tell you more about the power. You can click on the characters and it will tell you which powers they have. So it's a very, very interesting website. But let's get back and see if you know some of the same superpowers that I know that we all share. So I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint and ask you now to join a quiz. So since there are 445 different superpowers and over 19,000 superheroes, I want to see if you know some of these obscure superpowers. So if you have another device, if you have a phone, or if you want to open up a new window on your computer, if you want to go to the website, joinmyquiz.com. And again, this is a Quizlet. We practiced this a couple of weeks ago, but this is just a fun way, I think, for online students to get to participate a little bit in the classes. So if you go to joinmyquiz.com and the join code is 017952. 017952. Okay, let me go ahead and get into the website. And we will play this game. So if you haven't joined this, it's okay. It looks like I got quite a few people there already. Excellent, we have 13 people there. Let me give you another minute or two and see if we get a few more people to join the quiz. And what you're going to do is you're going to read a definition of a superpower, and then I want to see if you can name the superpower. This will just take a minute or two. And unfortunately, once I start the quiz, if anybody else joins, I don't think they can join it. So let me just give you another moment or two. We'll see if we get a few more people. And if we don't, it's okay. You can watch along with me here in Zoom. I'm going to take a drink of water. It's very hot here today in Albuquerque. Okay, I see the magic number of 36. I think maybe I'll go ahead and start the quiz. So if you are at home, you just take the quiz, ignore me, put your hands over your ears so you don't hear me, and the rest of us will just kind of take it together. Okay, let's start it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to click to the questions. So if you're at home taking that test, ignore me. I'm just going to do it here with everybody else. The first question says, what superpower allows you to gain immunity to something after a first exposure? Having this power means the same trick never works twice. Okay, so if you're at home or you're not in the program, you can just write down the answer to number 1, and we'll go over it in just a moment. The next question is, what superpower allows you to break something down into smaller parts? Number 3 says, what superpower gives you the ability to gain information about objects or people through a careful analysis? Number 4, what superpower gives you the ability to increase your capabilities to significant levels with sufficient time and resources? Number 5 says, what superpower gives you the ability to sense other superhuman abilities in others? And finally, number 6 says, what superpower is your ability to inspire people? And all of these answers are superpowers, but I'm hoping that you can match the definition to the specific superpower. Each of these pictures is an example from the website of a character that has this superpower. So I'm going to go back up here to the top, and I'm going to give you just a few more minutes. It looks like we're getting a lot of answers. If you can see up here, we have the green bar versus the red bar. I'm going to click over here to the leaderboard, and we can see that people are almost getting done. Looks like we have a rank there. Not everybody's done. Some of these are tricky. Look at all of you guys participating. I love it. I love it. Let's go ahead, I think, and we'll see if we can stop the game here and go ahead and talk about it. Oh, somebody jumped up there to first. We have just a few more questions to answer. We have 39 out of 50 people are done, 40 people done. I think when we hit 45, we'll stop it and we'll all look at it. Well, maybe we'll go ahead and stop it now. I'm going to end the game and we will, whoops. I'm trying to see if it's going to end on its own. It should with the timer. Okay. I think we're almost done. It may be wanting for everybody to get done. I'm going to go ahead and end the game, and we will go look at the questions now and see which ones are correct and which ones are not. Okay, so we have our first, second, and third place winners. Let's give them a hand. Bravo, bravo. And we will go over the questions here by looking at the Whoops. Let me go back up here. Sorry, questions. Again, very quickly, what superpower allows you to gain immunity to something after a first exposure? Having this power means the same trick never works twice. That is the power of adaptation. And I noticed that somebody put that in their chat box, but to me, adaptation is very similar to flexibility. And that is, we can see that when we start a lesson, if it's not working, that we change it midway through the lesson, right? Because teachers have that superpower to adapt to any situation. The second question says, what superpower allows you to break something down into smaller parts? And that is the superpower of deconstruction. And again, I think teachers have this superpower. We can take a complex topic, maybe a grammar topic, and break it down into smaller parts and teach it so that our students understand it. So I think we should be proud that we have this superpower of deconstruction. Number 3 says, what superpower gives you the ability to gain information about objects or people through a careful analysis? And this is kind of an easy one because the answer is there in the superpower, and that is information analysis. So I think that we are prepared people. We look ahead at what we're doing and we prepare things very carefully, and we do that through information, right? I think all of us are constantly trying to seek ways to become better teachers, and we do that by collecting information and analyzing it, of course. Number 4 says, what superpower gives you the ability to increase your capabilities to significant levels with sufficient time and resources? And again, that one is preparation. This preparation and information analysis to me are very similar, but we know that we can do a better job of teaching if we prepare. And I think that's key. Number 5 says, what superpower gives you the ability to sense other superhuman abilities in others? And that is our power sense. And we're going to talk more about this in our last webinar when we're talking about multi-levels in the same classroom. But what I think teachers do that not everybody can do is that we can kind of sense when people have special abilities. We can kind of sense maybe if a student doesn't like to speak in English, that maybe they really have strong written skills. Or maybe we can sense why they don't like to speak in English, because maybe there's some social emotional things going on that are prohibiting them from being able to speak freely in a second language. Finally, number 6 says, what superpower is your ability to inspire people? And this one is hope inducement. And I really think that effective teachers have this superpower, and that is we give our students hope, right? We encourage them, we nurture them, and we see the best in them, and we really try to give them hope that they are people worthy of our attention. Okay, thank you for participating in that little game. All of these characters over here, by the way, are characters that were on that website that have those characteristics. So we are all Batgirls and we are all Yodas. We are all sharing the same superpowers that these characters have. Let me go back into our PowerPoint and I will show you again the list of those superpowers once again, excuse me. Adaptation, deconstruction, information analysis, preparation, power sense, and hope inducement. So you, my friends, have these superpowers, along with the characteristics that you so kindly put in the chat box. I think it's really interesting that there is research from Harvard, a very prestigious university here in America, that talks about something called the superhero pose. I want to show you a very short video from one of my favorite TV shows. It's very silly, but it's a show called Grey's Anatomy, and it's a medical show, and I've been watching it for years. But in this television show, there's a young doctor here, and she's a neurosurgeon, and she's very, very, very smart. But even this very, very, very smart neurosurgeon gets nervous before operations, before serious operations. So what she's doing is doing a superhero pose. And this other assistant here is like, what are you doing? And she explains what she's doing. So let me go ahead and play this video for you, and we'll talk about it in just a second. So we'll go back to our Google here, and I will play this video.
Okay, I have everything set up. You will have all of your films, your favorite scrub nurse. What is happening?
I'm being a superhero.
Okay.
There's a scientific study that shows that if you stand like this in superhero pose for just 5 minutes before a job interview or a big presentation or a really hard task, you will not only feel more confident, you will perform measurably better.
Seriously?
Seriously. You feel it?
We're superheroes.
We are superheroes. Hold up your head and enter the arena and face the enemy. Fight until you can't fight anymore.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. The purpose of that, again, was to show you that the superhero pose is really honestly supposed to give you power to do better. So what I want to do tonight, if you don't mind, is that I would like for all of us to try this, because honestly, I think all of you are superheroes. I think teaching every day is a superpower, and I think you all have that. And I would like to honor that by taking a picture of all of you doing the superhero pose. So, as they said in the video, you're supposed to put your hands, I'm gonna stand up, put your hands on your, see if I can move this down, put your hands on your hips, stick your head out, and be strong. And if you have a towel, you can make yourself a superhero cape. Okay, come on, people. Get out your towels, put them on. Here we go. We are superheroes, people. There we go. Okay, and if everybody can stand up or get over your phone, make your superhero pose. We're gonna take a couple of pictures. Are you ready? Okay, I see some people standing up. Yeah, baby. Okay, be fierce, everybody. We are superpowers, superheroes. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can take a couple of pictures of this, and I'm hoping that we have some that, let's see. Okay, let me see if I can get the next one. Okay, thank you for turning your cameras on. Superheroes right now, everybody. Look fierce. Okay, one more try. Here we go. Look fierce. Superheroes, everybody. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. So maybe now, the next time you go into your classroom, before you enter, you can do a superhero pose. And maybe before your students have their next exam, they can stand up and do a superhero pose. And remember that they are strong. So thank you. I'm gonna take my towel off. It's very hot here. Thank you, I appreciate you doing that. Oh, I saw a little child back there doing a superhero pose, very cute. Okay, guys, we will continue on with our presentation here. let me get back into the PowerPoint. And we will go to the next slide, which is, whoops, sorry, stop that. I want to talk to you now a little bit about backwards design. And that is a way of looking at materials development and curriculum design. So I think maybe some of you know about backwards design already. It's been around for a while. But honestly, when I used to do curriculum design and curriculum planning and lesson planning, I would think about what I was going to do in the classroom and then how I would assess it and then what my end goals were. But backwards design flips that and says, let's look at what you want for your end results first. And then think about how you will assess those end results. And then think about what kind of lessons you need or what kind of activities you need to plan to complete the cycle. So I want to try another game in Kahoot. I'm going to ask you to go ahead and go to Kahoot it. So if you have another device or open up another window, go to kahoot.it, and we will try this Kahoot game. So let me open that up. And the PIN number is going to be 7245436. So if you go to kahoot.it and enter 7245436. And I see a couple of people. There we go. I'll wait a second to let a few more of you join. Thank you so much for being superheroes, guys. So we're getting ready to start. Okay, I think we're going to start in about 6 seconds. So again, you have to look at the screen to see what the question is. And the first one says, what is backwards design? And then you have 4 options. And if you are not playing Kahoot, you can put your answer in the chat box. And there we got our first question already. We'll go on to the second one. What is the primary goal of using backward design? And the correct answer is student understanding. It's really about helping the students more than it is even than helping us in our design. Okay, we have somebody there's the highest climber. Very nice. How many stages are there? I wonder how many stages are there? And the answer is 3. So in stage 1, select standards, create the sequence of the lesson, determine how we will assess it, or develop the transfer goal. And if you've never heard of backwards design, just take a guess. And the correct answer in the first stage is that you select the standards, what it is you want, the outcomes for your students. In stage 2, you select standards, create the sequence of the lesson, determine how you will assess learning, or develop the transfer goal. And the correct answer there was determine how you will assess the learning. I think you can guess what the next question is going to be, right? Do you match the standards, create the sequence, or align activities? The correct answer is align activities and teaching to the assessment. And we have just 2 questions left in our Kahoot. I love Kahoot because it's free. How is students' understanding demonstrated? Through guided transfer, never through writing calls, through autonomous transfer. And the correct answer is through autonomous transfer. And here we have 1 more question. Or no, maybe 2 more. No, here's the last one, I promise. In backwards design, teachers are, please don't say overworked and underpaid, even though sometimes I think we are. And the answer is curriculum designers and coaches of understanding. Again, thank you for participating in this. We have a winner, Mon. Congratulations. Wen and PT are 2nd and 3rd. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the PowerPoint so that we can talk a little bit more about backwards design. This was originated with 2 authors, Grant Wiggins and Jay McTeague, and they've written this book and a whole series of them called Understanding by Design. And their premise is that we are all designers. And I thought the designers in Vietnam of your architecture were phenomenal. And I am so blessed to have seen all 3 of these beautiful buildings or beautiful pagodas and temples when I was visiting in Vietnam. And each one of them was unique and beautiful and gorgeous. And it made me think about designers. And designers don't just start building, right? They have a master plan and they have an idea of what it's going to look like at the end. And that's what we need to do as teachers. We need to think about what is the end product, and the end product are the learning outcomes and the ability for students to actually perform something or do something with the English language tools that we're giving them. So I have to first of all commend you for living in a country with the most beautiful designs ever, which I know translates to the beautiful designs that you all do in your classrooms with your students. The 3 stages of backward design are: first, you identify your results. That's the big ideas and skills you want your students to take away from the lesson or from the unit that you're planning. You want to determine acceptable evidence, which is measured in some kind of culminating assessment task. And then you plan the learning experiences and instruction. So I must confess, when I first started teaching, I always started here. I did 3, 2, 1. I thought about what am I going to do in my classroom? Oh, how am I going to assess those things I've done? And then what are the outcomes again? So to me, this makes so much more sense to think of it kind of in a backwards way, where you identify the results first. The questions that you might ask yourself is, what should students know, understand, and be able to do? So when you're creating a lesson at the end of the hour or 45 minutes, what is it that you want your students to know, understand, or be able to do from that lesson? And what content is worthy of understanding? We really need to consider our goals, examine established national content standards, and review curriculum expectations. So if you're like me, I have textbooks that have been given to me to use, and I have standards that we are trying to reach because we have a test that our students have to take. And our funding at my community college is contingent on our students doing well on this standardized test. So I do know what the standards are that my students are supposed to reach. And there are curriculum expectations. So as much as I would like to have total freedom in designing my curriculum, my hands are tied, much like I'm sure yours are as well, by national standards. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, I think it's good to have standards so that programs can be measured against one another. But sometimes I think all of us maybe wish we had a little bit more freedom to do what we wanted in the classroom. So we really need to think about what content is worthy of understanding. Next, we need to, make choices. The next one is to determine acceptable evidence. So we need to think about, we've picked out these learning outcomes, we figured out what we want our students to know. What evidence are we going to use that is going to measure that? So how will we know if our students have achieved the desired results? What will we accept as evidence of student understanding and proficiency? So we need to collect assessment evidence to document and validate that learning has occurred. Finally, the third step is when we finally start planning the learning experiences and instruction. What enabling knowledge, facts, concepts, principles, and skills, processes, procedures, and strategies will students need in order to perform effectively and achieve the desired results? What activities will equip students with the needed knowledge and skills? What materials and resources are best suited to accomplish these goals? This is kind of what we're going to be looking at for the rest of the evening. What kind of materials and resources that I have found that have been useful for me that I'm hoping will be useful for all of you. And our action item here, it went away. I don't know what happened to my action item. Our action item is let's get started. Let's start looking at some of these materials and resources. Oh, there it goes. We need to make choices about teaching methods, sequence of lessons, and resource materials after we identify the desired results and assessments and consider what they imply. We need to decide what learning experiences and instruction will enable students to achieve the desired results. So in the Tech for Teaching platform, I have put this template that you are welcome to use if you want to try out this backwards design way of looking at lesson development. So there's a blank one that you can use just for fun if you want to try it. I know your eyes are probably going, whoa, because this is very small, but this is an example of a completed lesson plan. And again, this is in the Tech for Teaching. So you can look at this later when you have a little bit more time. I just wanted to show you that this first page here has kind of the directions for what to put in each one of the boxes. And then here's an example of one that I completed for a class of mine, or one that I was thinking about for you because I used the Vietnamese context for a desired result. So I'm going to talk about for a few minutes the idea that students need to learn small talk, and they need to be able to greet people and ask for clarification. And I think this is especially important in the global economy, where our students, I hope, will get to meet one another and use English as the medium for communication. Because I know that Vietnam has a lot of partners in the area where English is the language that is being used for business. So maybe we can think about this idea that you and your partner are entrepreneurs who've created some fabulous Vietnamese spice mixes that you are selling successfully in Vietnam. Now you want to break into the global market. You both are attending an international trade show to try to make a favorable impression on some Canadian supermarket executives. At the party, the night before the show begins, you both need to meet and engage the executives in everyday conversation to prove you're able to do business in English and can easily ask for repetition and read nonverbal cues. So this is my performance task. This is going to want my students to do. I want them to pretend like they're at a party, meet two strangers, and engage in small talk. So the understandings are that students will understand that asking for repetition is a normal occurrence in conversation. Not everybody speaks clearly, so you need to ask for clarification sometimes. And that there are predictable everyday conversation topics that are universal and or culturally based. My essential questions are, what are acceptable topics of everyday conversation? How can I keep a conversation going? How can I sound more like a native speaker? And so here is my learning plan here. And again, you can look at this later in more detail. What I want to show you tonight are just some of the resources I found that I could use for my learning plan. So let's go ahead and get into this. So again, this is the details. I'm going to look at the big picture in the webinar, and you are welcome to examine this completed lesson plan more closely in the Tech for Teaching. What I want to do is that I want to use your superpowers of information analysis and preparation. We know there are so many websites out there with links to ESL resources. And I want to thank all of you who participated in the Wakelet, where you put up a website that you really liked. I got lots of ideas from all of you, so thank you. I hope if you haven't had a chance to participate, or at least to go in and read some of these, that you should thank your colleagues and send them all kisses for their hard work of putting together a review of a website. That was in the wiki, and then in the Wakelet, we just had a website that people liked and that they recommended others check out. But here's one I wanted to show you tonight, which is the EnglishGuide.org. And I will share my screen here so that we can all take a look at that together. And this EnglishGuide.org website has so many resources on it. They have vocabulary. Do you see all of those vocabulary resources there? They have listening resources, grammar resources, reference resources, and then some others that are broken up by skill. So honestly, I think you could take like 24 hours on this website and still not see everything. What I liked about it is that this, by the way, is an advertisement. Because it's free, there are these advertisements, so just ignore that. But if you go down to the bottom of it, it has a key, and it says that the blue boxes up here represent elementary level. We have low intermediate, intermediate, upper intermediate, advanced, and multiple levels. But one thing I really like about this website is that there are ratings. So the 5-star ratings by the editors mean it's extraordinary. So if it has just a 1-star functional, I don't even bother looking at. The same thing with fair. Who wants functional or fair? Don't we want extraordinary resources? So I'm looking for the ones that have 5 stars. I went ahead and clicked on vocabulary. I wanted to just show you the second one here, and it's about hobbies vocabulary, because we know when you meet people and you're making small talk that you can talk about hobbies. So what do you like to do in your spare time? Or, what do you do outside of work? So these are very common conversational topics in American English. And I think almost anywhere I've ever traveled, people talk about hobbies and what they like to do in their spare time. So let's go ahead and check this out. We're going to visit this page. This is going to take us outside of the English Guide website into a game. It's a vocabulary learning platform. And if you've ever looked at Learning Chocolate, I've used this before with my students. And it's very, very easy to use. There's different games and there's different categories, of course. So this is vocabulary. If I click on the word, whoops.
Dancing, fishing, watching TV.
So all we're doing right here is just hearing them. But now I'm going to do a matchup where I'm going to click down here.
Shopping.
And so now I have to decide which one of those words did I just hear?
Shopping.
One more time.
Shopping.
Shopping. So I'm going to take this up here and put it there.
Shopping.
I'm going to do the next one.
Hiking. Hiking.
I'm going to say that's that one.
Hiking.
So you could do this with your students if you have a projector at the front, and you could put this on the projector and have them write down what word they hear. Or you could assign this, if your students have access to the internet at home, you could assign this as an activity for them to complete at home. Let me go back here. We have another matchup game. Here we actually take the word and put it up where the picture is. So here I have dancing, I have gardening, I have fishing. I'm going to check my answers and it's going to say, yay, I got that right, I got that right, I got that right. And these I got wrong, of course, because I didn't do them. Okay, let me show you a couple of more things you can do. Matchup. This one, you don't see the word now, you just hear it.
Dancing. Dancing.
So I'm going to put that up here.
Dancing.
How about this one?
Painting. Painting. Painting.
Maybe I'm going to put painting here.
Painting.
Right? Okay, so I think you get the point. And then we have fill in, which is where you actually have to type the word. So you have to spell it, D-A-N-C-I-N-G, and fishing. And then you check your answers, of course. And the last game here that you can play is dictation. And again, you could have your students write on a piece of paper, 1 to 8. And of course, you could do this yourself, but it's sometimes fun just to have another voice in the classroom.
Hiking. Painting. Reading. Watching TV.
Okay, so anyway, I think you get the point. This website has got so many different categories, and I really, really think you'll find it useful. So I hope you have a chance to check that out. Let me continue in our presentation here by going back to our PowerPoint and remembering that we are using information analysis and preparation by looking at some of these websites. Our next one I wanted to show you was TED Ed, which we've looked at before. So I'm going to show you that for a moment. And I'm also going to show you a website called Real English. So let me go back into Google and we will look at those two websites. TED Ed, I've talked to you before about. We did that critical thinking webinar where I showed you the critical thinking video that TED Ed does. Again, this is all free. There are so many subjects that you can do, and there's lessons that are already created for these. You can do a search, and I'm going to type in body language because I think that's something important that people need to know about. When they are in a small talk or a small group situation. And here I have your body language shapes who you are. I don't know if any of you have seen this, but this is a great video. And you can watch it. There are questions that are already developed here for it. You can dig deeper and have other resources that you can share with your students. And then they also have some discussions that you could use in your class. So again, TED Ed, love this resource, lots and lots of activities there that you can use free of charge with no copyright infringement. So I encourage you to look at that. The next one is a website called, looks like I jumped right into it. This is realenglish.com. Let me go back to, I apologize. I thought I had that queued up. This is the main website. And honestly, because it's free, there's lots of advertisements on it. And it's very, very busy, I think. But there still are some very interesting lessons on here. What I like about this website is that it uses videos of real people. So they're not actors being all dramatic. It's how people really talk in English. So if you go down to the bottom of the website, and maybe there's other ways to access this that are easier, but this is the way I do it. I just click on lessons. And then you can see the names of the lessons. And I'm going to go ahead and just start with lesson 1, which is hi, because it's about greetings, right? And isn't that what we're doing? Talking about tonight, small talk and greetings. And the beauty of this website is that there are exercises already developed that you can use. This one says, watch this video, then click on exercise 1. So let's watch this video for a second.
Pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What's your name?
Alexander Shep.
And what's your name?
Sonoko Fukada.
Hi, good to see you guys. How you doing?
Okay, how you doing?
Very well.
Hello.
How do you do?
How do you do? Hi there.
How you doing?
Good. What is your name?
My name is Jimmy Sullivan.
I'm fine. What's your name?
What's your name?
My name is Maureen.
And what's your name?
Raphael.
Good to meet you two. What's your name?
My name is David.
What's your name?
My name, Alan.
Alan.
My name's Alan.
What's your name?
My name is Silva Raker.
Okay, what's your name, sir?
My name is Joe Clancy.
So what you do after you watch the video is that you go ahead and do the exercises for the lesson. So I'm going to click on the first one and it says, watch the video, click on the greeting you hear. So if you want to just do this in your head or write down on a piece of paper, A, B, or C, but here we go.
Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you.
So did we hear hello, pleased to meet you, or how are you doing? I think it was pretty easy. That was pleased to meet you. And we got that right. So now you can see the vocabulary. Pleased, they give you the adjective, means happy, satisfied, or content. And the verb to meet means to get together with somebody. And you can listen.
Pleased. Meet.
And we can go on to exercise 2.
What's your name?
Alexander Shep.
And what's your name?
Sonoko Fukada.
Hi, good to see you guys.
So the first line is missing, and you had to listen for the other one. So let's listen one more time.
What's your name?
Alexander Shep.
And what's your name?
Sonoko Fukada.
Hi, good to see you guys.
So I think we would agree that first one was what they were talking about. I like this because it gives you slang. I say you guys all the time, and that is definitely a slang. So I like that website that it points that out to you. Let me go back to the exercises because we have some exercises that then get a little bit more difficult towards the end of the video. And there is a vocabulary summary. There's also a grammar for real beginners. So this.
What's your name?
What's your name?
And then it gives you the present tense, I am, you are, he is, she is. So this is a website. It's not very sophisticated. I mean, the layout to me is a little not as fancy maybe as some of the other websites, but I think the content is really good. So I hope you have a chance to check that out. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. We'll keep plugging away here, guys. And we will look at our next one is using your superpowers of adaptation and deconstruction to create tasks. So not everybody has access to technology in their classroom. So I did want to show you a resource that the American English website puts out, and it is a 77-page book that you can download for free and cut up the dialogues and use those in class. And then also the British Council has got a wonderful website with lots and lots of resources on it as well. So let's go look at those two websites for just a moment. And here is the, excuse me, I said 77 pages, it's 72 pages. This I put in the Tech for Teaching. You can look at it. The very first part is introductions and small talk. And here we have a dialogue with formal greetings. So if you wanted, you could photocopy this or put this up on the board and assign half of the room to be James, half the room to be Professor Austin, and practice this. This, of course, is pretty sophisticated language. There's a more informal one down here, informal greetings and farewells, which maybe would be better for some of the lower level students. There's all of these language notes that explains the language being used. And I think this is just a really rich resource that I hope you have a time to check out. The next one is the British Council resource. And again, if we're talking about meeting new people, they have a video, they have a transcript of the video, and then they have tasks for the video. So let me go ahead and then if you look up here, you can see again that they've divided this into different skills. We have grammar, we have vocabulary, we have business English, we have general English. But let me go back to the meeting new people. So we will watch this video here.
Hi, I'm Anna. Welcome to What to Say. Do you know what to say when you meet new people? Listen out for useful language for meeting new people. Then, we'll practice saying the new phrases. After this.
Hi.
Hello.
Are you Paul?
No, I'm not. But he asked me to meet you. I'm Emir. You must be Vanya.
Yes, I am. Nice to meet you.
You too. Can I show you the office?
Perfect, thanks.
So, how was your journey?
It was fine, and it's great to be here.
Well, it's great to have you here. Can I get you a coffee?
Oh, yes, please.
Ah, Yuna, this is Vanya.
Oh, hi, I'm Yuna. Nice to meet you.
Okay, I'm going to stop that there because I think you get the point. This is so much more sophisticated and presented, I think, really, really professionally. That Real Talk website, what I liked about that is that's real people talking, not actors that are getting paid to carefully enunciate and speak clearly. So I think it's good to have a balance of both, of this very precise English versus the way that many people around the world use English. This website has worksheets. It has tasks that you can do for each one of these. Paul meets Vanya when she first arrives. Amir offers to show Vanya the office, true or false. So again, you could play these videos in class and have your students answer these questions in groups and then talk about it all together. So this is a great website. So many resources on this website. Check it out if you have time. Okay, let me stop the share and go back to our PowerPoint for a moment. And honestly, I think we might take a break here in just a moment so that you can have a chance to talk about superheroes. But let me go back to the website and show you just a few more resources before we do that. Randall's ESL Listening Lab is also a website that's kind of a classic. If you've visited before, I encourage you to visit again. I like it that there's a combination of adult, teenage, and children's voices. And it's not so much videos as it is just audio. So you don't have the verbal cues. You really got to listen to see if you could understand what it is they're saying. So let's take a look at that website and see if it might be something that you could use in your classes when you are putting in some new activities and some new ideas into your lessons. So here it is, his listening activities. Again, down here we have easy, intermediate, and difficult. I'm going to click on the easy, and I am looking down here for a website called Nice to Meet You, but all of these are listening activities. So you can see there's a huge variety of things that you could access and look at. But because we're kind of talking about greetings and introductions, let me go to Nice to Meet You. And in this one, we are going to we can look at the script, but we're going to listen to it first, and then we'll answer the questions.
Hi, what was your name again? I can't keep straight all the students' names, this being the second day of school.
It's okay, I have a hard time remembering names myself.
Now, Karen, right?
No, it's Nancy. My mom's name is Karen.
Nancy, okay. I think I heard you were from England.
Well, I was born there, but my parents are American. I grew up in France.
Oh, a world traveler.
But then we moved here when I was 9.
So, what does your father do now?
Well, he's a college professor and he's in Scotland at the moment.
How interesting. What does he teach?
Oh, I haven't a clue. Nah, just joking. He teaches chemistry.
Oh, chemistry. And what about your mother?
She works full-time at home.
Oh, and what, does she have her own business or something?
Nah, she takes care of me.
Well, being a homemaker can be a real hard but rewarding job.
I think so too.
Okay, let's go ahead and test your English, shall we? Where does this conversation most likely take place? So if you want somebody first person to put that in the chat box, we will give you a big clap or big round of applause. I'm looking at where this conversation most likely took place: at a school, at a park, or at a birthday party. At a school, thank you. Somebody got it. Woohoo! Now I see them popping up. Excellent. And you'll notice that there was background noise, right? There was a sound of children playing. But honestly, in many listening situations, it's not perfectly silent. You really do have to concentrate and listen hard. So I do like this website for that reason. Did anybody catch the girl's name? I may need to play it one more time, huh? You didn't know you're going to be tested on this. I see at school, right? And the second question is, what is the girl's name? I see school still popping up. You know, honestly, I think I've forgotten. I think her name was Kathy, but I'm not sure about that. Where was the girl born? I think she said she was born in England, but lives in the United States, or vice versa. So I probably need to listen to this again. What does the girl's father do for a living? I think he was a chemistry teacher. Where does the girl's mother work? I'm not sure I heard that. So I didn't know what the questions were, right? I wasn't doing very selective listening. So I think this is an interesting activity because you can show the questions first to your students so they know what to listen for and then play the audio. Or you could do it cruelly like I did and just played it without telling you what the questions were going to be. There are vocabulary quizzes that you can do after that. Here we have a mixed up sentence. You have to put the parts in order to form a sentence. And when you think it's correct, you put check. So I'm going to start with I, and then had a hard time remembering the students' names. And then I'm going to check that. Yay, got it correct. So that's one of the other activities that you can do. Let me go back to the questions. Oh, I may have gotten it out of entirely. Oh no, there it is. It's still there. So there's a gap fill, and there's also a sentence vocabulary matching game. So here for introductions, this is sentences that are similar to what we just heard, and you have to find the correct word to fill in the blank. So again, this is just another resource for you to use when you're developing new materials using your superpowers. Okay, let's go back to the PowerPoint, and I will, let's see. Go to our next resource, Teach This. This is a fabulous website. If you haven't had a chance to look at this, check it out. Unfortunately, a lot of the materials you have to pay for, but there's still many that you can get for free. So let me show you this website as a possibility for you to use in your classrooms. Teach This is, you can see for grammar, holy cow, look at all of these different grammar lessons that you could access. We have parts of speech. Whoa, look at that. There's so many pre-made, very professional worksheets. And I'll show you one here in just a moment. Under functional language, we're talking about greetings and introductions. Let me click on that one. Here it says free, yay. And then it says exclusive. So if you want to pay, you can get the exclusive ones, or you can just simply download these. And let's see if I can, you actually, if you click it on it, it downloads it to your computer, and then you can print them off, and they're copyright. You can make as many copies as you want. This particular one is a game where students are given a famous person, and then they have to go find 2 more famous people. So it looks like it would be a lot of fun. I'm going to see if I can actually download it here so that you can see it better. So it tells you how to use the activity, and then it gives you the activity itself. So there are so many of this on this website. It's just unbelievable how many different activities that you can use. There's a lot of games here that you can, fun ESL games, answer games, brainstorming games, counting games. Again, you could spend the rest of your life on this website. I wish that it was all free, but you know, I guess websites have to make money, or at least some of them do. So please explore this and look for those activities that you can download for free. I'm just going to click on agreeing and disagreeing again, show you here's a free one, here's free ones, and then of course there are the ones that you pay for. Here's another free one. So check it out. I think you will be very pleased with all of the different resources available there. My next resource to show you is to talk about pronunciation. This is something I think that my Vietnamese students in America have difficulty with, and that is being understood not just by Americans, but by other people who speak English as a second language. And I read a very interesting article about a fellow in Vietnam who wrote about the 4 areas of difficulty for Vietnamese students. And he identified, along with a lot of research, that Vietnamese speakers of English oftentimes have difficulty with the complexity of tense and lax vowels in English, that there's a variety of dialect differences and consonant positions, difficult with consonant clusters, and difficulty with the stress and tones because English is stress timed. And what I read about Vietnamese and being in Vietnam is that your words are 1 syllable and they are not stress timed, they're syllabus timed. So speaking English is different from speaking Vietnamese. So I think as teachers, it's your responsibility and my responsibility not to make our students sound like native speakers of English, but to make sure that people can understand them. Because honestly, everybody I know with an accent, I think is charming. And I think that's how most Americans think. When we meet people who speak English as a second language, we are just absolutely charmed and thrilled that you speak another language besides your native language. So again, I want to say, not that we're trying to make our students sound like native speakers, but we're trying to make them comprehensible to native speakers and to other speakers of English. So a method that I use in my classroom is something called the color vowel approach. And I've been using this for probably 5 years, and it has made an incredible difference with my students, not just Vietnamese students. I have students from all over the world, and every language group kind of has different issues with English or things that are hard because they don't have that in their first language. So it's hard to understand the importance of it in a second language. So I want to apologize to all of you because English spelling and English pronunciation is crazy. It's wacko. And I feel so sorry for people who are trying to make sense of it because honestly, there isn't always a lot of sense to be made with English pronunciation and English grammar. Sometimes, certainly with all of the different rules, exceptions to the rule. But there are patterns. And I think when students can start to recognize the patterns, it makes speaking English easier. So what this color vowel chart does is it tries to let students know that you can't just look at a word and know how to pronounce it. You need to be able to understand that there are 14 different vowel sounds, even though we only have 5 vowels, and sometimes why. For an example, look at these 8 or 7 words here. All of these have the letter O, but we don't say toe, so, own, ove, woman, war. I can't even say that one, work. We have our 14, what we have are 7 different sounds, all for the same letter O. So here we have 2. So 2 is blue moon 2. 2, blue moon 2. We have so, rose coat, so. Here we have the word on, olive sock, on. Here we have of, cup of mustard, of. Here we have woman, wooden hook, woman. Here we have women, silver pin, women. And finally, work, purple shirt, work. So these 2 very clever women, Karen Taylor and Shirley Thompson, created this chart clear back in 1999, and they have been retooling it and revamping it over the years. I think they just celebrated their 20th anniversary. I guess that was 2 years ago, but they have continued to adapt it. The way that I use it, oh, one more thing to show you real quick. We also have 5 different spelling patterns for the same vowel sound. So here, the sound is eh. It's red dress, dress, friend, bread, any, said. All of those are red dress, dress, red dress, friend, red dress, bread, red dress, any, red dress, said. But the spelling is completely different. Here we have an E, I-E, E-A, A, and A-I. So sometimes it's hard for students to understand that there is not just one sound that is associated with a vowel. And there's not one spelling associated with a sound. So it's complex. And this color vowel chart has helped my students understand that. So the color vowel approach is a pronunciation tool for teaching and learning English. It allows teachers and learners to talk easily and accurately about key sounds of English without the use of phonetic symbols. Instead of phonetic symbols, the chart uses colors and key words to represent the vowel sounds of English. It provides students and teachers with an easy way to describe and practice spoken English at the word level and at the phrase level. So let me show you a quick video about the color vowel chart. And what's exciting is that this information is on the American English website, and it may be possible for you to get a free color vowel chart to put in your classroom. I have one that I carry it with me because I teach in different classrooms, and I put it on my wall of every single class. My students all have a copy of the color vowel chart in their notebooks. And when you watch this video, you'll see how you can use the black line color vowel chart. And that's something that you can use for free. But I think that maybe the embassy in Hanoi does have some of these color vowel charts if you are interested in reaching out to them and asking them if you could get one for your classroom. But let me go ahead and show you a quick video by Karen that tells you a little bit more about how to use the color vowel chart, because I think they do a lot better job of explaining it than I do. Let me show you, first of all, this is the American English website. So if you go here, you can download the guide, and I actually put that in the Tech for Teaching. There's also a webinar that you can watch that teaches you all about, excuse me, how to use this chart. And if you just go to this website, you can click on it.
E, green tea. I, silver pin. A, gray day. Red dress.
So you can click on it if you wanted to hear them yourselves, or if you wanted to put this on a smart board or project it on the screen and play it for your students. But let me go ahead and show you the video that tells you a little bit more about the color vowel chart.
Hi, let's talk about the black line color vowel chart. It's deceptively simple looking, but it can be used in a number of ways.
Grammarly can help you write quickly and confidently, so you never have to slow down at work. Stay on top of emails, documents, and more.
But first, let's keep in mind that anytime you use the chart, it's a good idea to take a spoken tour of the chart, color by color. Green tea, E, silver pin, I, gray day, A, etc. Now, if you're working with students who are accustomed to using phonetic symbols and IPA, go ahead and have them transfer their symbols from IPA over to the color vowel chart. And in this way, they'll feel comfortable with this transition from their very well-known system to this new way of thinking about pronunciation through the location of stress and the vowel quality. Are you working with beginner or intermediate students? Give them time with each phrase on the color vowel chart to make sense of what it represents visually. In pairs or small groups, have them draw an image for each anchor phrase. A cup of green tea for green tea, some kind of a silver pin for silver pin. This isn't just busy work. By spending time with the image conveyed by each phrase, learners are priming themselves to make use of the images that we use in Blue Canoe, in our handheld game Color It Out, and every time their teacher uses a color vowel image card. Now, since there's a lot of white space on the Blackline Master, students have room to write words. Assign each group to a particular color vowel phrase and have them brainstorm words that belong to that category. Then they can check those words in Blue Canoe and route out the ones that actually don't belong to that category. Once they have a solid list of words for their color category, jigsaw those groups and have them read their words to one another, thereby populating their entire chart with good words, all brainstormed and organized by the students. We've found that a surprising number of students, even advanced students, really want to color in the color vowel chart. So break out those colored pencils or those crayons and give them time to do that. I think it provides a kind of closure and satisfaction in transforming this black line object into the full spectrum color vowel chart. Finally, I'll mention a unique advantage of using the black line color vowel chart. Without color to distract us visually, students are able to make sense of the power of the color vowel chart by way of its keyword phrases. This is not a color coding system. This is rather a powerful mnemonic system for remembering and recognizing and naming the vowel sounds of English. And this, by the way, makes the color vowel chart accessible to colorblind people. We originally designed the blackline version of the color vowel chart for easy photocopying, especially for large programs or for students studying online who don't have color printers. You'll notice that this download is marked with a Creative Commons copyright license, so go ahead and photocopy it or send it to your student online and make use of it.
Okay, so that is the color vowel chart. I have been using this, as I said before.
I was never able to find a bra that fits my small chest. For as long as I can remember, being small was something to be embarrassed about. I used to try on 50 bras in a dressing room.
Oh dear. I don't know what that was about. Let me go back to our website here. I just lost it. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. So the color vowel chart I have the big color vowel chart up in front of the classroom. And when we're doing activities and students are reading things out loud, I may be jotting words down that they're mispronouncing, and then we'll go over it all together using the color vowel chart. In my students' notebooks, I have them photocopy a page that just says like red pepper, green tea, white tie, black cat, and they keep a list of vocabulary words that have that pronunciation. And we go through them occasionally and play games with them, and just to help them understand that even though that English pronunciation is difficult, that this approach helps it be a little bit more manageable. So I'm hoping that you all have a chance to try that out at some point. Okay, moving on. I wanted to let you know that our next webinar in August is going to be about teaching mixed level classes. And we're going to talk more about our superpowers of power sense, because that's when we're able to kind of discover what strengths and weaknesses our students have. And we figure out ways to exploit those and make them so that they can feel more comfortable in the classroom and participate at the level that they're at, rather than perhaps at the level that other students are already functioning. So we'll talk more about that in our webinar 6, but you do have the superpower of a power sense. And as teachers, I know you're always using your hope inducement sense, and that's because you are inspiring the next generation. I think as teachers, you are here not for the money probably, but because you really believe in what you're doing, and you have the superhero sense and power that we can make a difference in the world. So I reflect on that, and I think about that a lot, and we have such important jobs, and I'm proud to be among you doing this job. So do take a moment sometime this morning to really reflect on the superpowers you possess, because I'm sure you have many of the superpowers that are listed on that superpower database. What I want to do next is to jump into our Tech for Teaching, because these are the 5 webinars we've had so far. After our 6th webinar, we won't have any activities. So it's just for these first 5 webinars. And we'll have our closing ceremony in August as our last get together. So I'm hoping sometime in the next month that you can go back into the Tech for Teaching website and double check that you have done all of these activities. But let me show you those. I will go into the Tech for Teaching and we will take a looky look at those. Let's see, we have, I will go here first. Mine looks a little bit different. I'm going to see if I can log in as a student so that I have the same view that you do. Let's see if I can do that. Switch role to students. There we go. Okay, so here is our Tech for Teaching. As you know, in our first webinar, we had some supplementary skills. We had the 6-word memoir and your 3 photos and 1 short description. Many of you have already done that. So I think that's probably not what most of you have to do. I did get all of your lesson plans that were submitted. I gave you comments on those and sent those back to you, and you can access those in your grades. For webinar number 2, again, we had a quiz on the grammar and vocabulary content. I asked you to contribute ideas that you might have for teaching with Mad Lib. And there was also, of course, the webinar recording. For webinar number 3, you were asked to look at some websites and then fill out a questionnaire that just said, yes, I looked at these websites. So this was more of something that you looked at and reviewed more than actually completing something, except you should complete the critical thinking questionnaire, and that proves to me that you did look at the activities. Last time we had several activities to do. One of them was to go to Wakelet. And let me see if I can open that up. Wakelet, there is a code that I gave you. I can't remember what it was, but it's there in the information about how to do this. And in this code, I asked you if you would produce a website that you found useful. And look at all of this participation. I got so many different people telling me like best tools for virtual and distance learning. I've never seen that one before. 50 incredible links, webinars that will change the way you think. So again, these are your colleagues putting on some of the resources that they have found that have been useful. So pick a wheel, spin the wheel to decide a random. I thought that was really cool. I'd never seen that one before. Prezi, love Prezi. I'm not so good at it, but I've seen presentations using Prezi, and it is very impressive. So if you have a chance, I'm hoping that you come here. All you do is click on edit, and it says favorite website for teaching English, and you just click on a little green plus sign and add your ideas. So it's pretty user friendly. So if you have a chance in the next month, I hope that you can come on here and share some of your ideas. The other thing I asked you to do this last month was to make a Flipgrid video, and you should be able to just go to flipgrid.com and put in your email address, and that should get you in. This is the join code, and that's also in the directions A52, A24, A2. And once you do that, you put in your email, and then look at, I have 25 people, that's wonderful, that have given videos. I think maybe some people, 38 responses. It looks like some more people gave them today. Look at that. I didn't see all of these that got added yesterday and today, so I will go in and watch these. But they're wonderful. I was just so happy to get to see you in person and hear your stories and listen to your advice. So if you have a chance, please, please, please make a video, go in and watch your colleagues' videos. They're great fun. I'm really impressed by some of the screensavers some of you put around there, or the frames that you put around your screen. So these were super duper, and I hope you have a chance to look at those and to add your own. Okay, back for the tech for teaching. The last thing to do was to share in the wiki. And here I had 3 resources that I found were kind of a portal to other resources. And I asked you just to find find one tech tool and let us know what you thought about it. So if you go to the wiki, here we have comments here, review the resource, and you can see what people have posted here. Look at somebody did this, this one, Lee or Lai, I'm not sure, I think it's Lee Damai Lin put this one up clear back in June, and then we have more, and we have one's ESL Cyber Listening Lab. Hey, that's one we just looked at tonight. And people were giving them stars. This person actually did 5 of them. You only had to do 1. Overachiever. I love it. Superpowers to you tonight. So 1 is my expectation, and you can see that your colleagues have just done a great job of reviewing these. And I trust you all to do good reviews. I would rather read something that you have tried and liked rather than just bumble around in the internet trying to find my own resources. So I think this is fabulous that we have a way to share ideas about useful websites, because we are doing so much material development right now, and being able to not spend a lot of time going to sites that are not useful and instead going to sites where they have been approved by your colleagues, I think is going to be helpful in your lesson planning. So thank you to all of you who have shared these. I'm going to go in and really study this in this next month because I'm getting ready to go back to school in August, and I know I'm going to be needing some more fresh ideas. So I appreciate your doing this for me and for your colleagues. So thank you, thank you. Okay, back to the webinar 4. That was all things to do for last our last webinar, which was webinar number 4. Now I would like to have you look at what we're going to be doing for webinar number 5. And that is, let's see if this, I'm going to open this up and see if that pops open for all of you. Okay, let me bring this to the front. Excuse me. Okay. So for this last webinar with activities, I want you to complete the following tasks before August 23rd. Review the webinar 5 PowerPoint and check out the supplementary resources in the Tech for Teaching. So that is that PowerPoint that you're watching right now. If you want to review it again, I will post it in the Tech for Teaching after this presentation. Just for fun, I thought it would be interesting if you could check out the list of superpowers on that website, for that very first website I showed you, and then choose one that you think effective teachers have or wish they could have. Tell us why you believe teachers have this superpower or could use the superpower. Share your ideas in the discussions. And then finally, double check that you've completed all of the activities for webinars 1 through 5. Be sure to look at all the amazing resources on the Wakelet page and also go to the wiki so that you can review all of those very interesting resources that your colleagues have reviewed. And be sure to go to Flipgrid so that you can get to know some of your colleagues a little bit better and make your own video so that we can get to know you just ever so slightly in your introduction. Okay, let me go back to the PowerPoint because I think that is it for the Tech for Teaching. Yes, that's it. And so here's the discussion where it says Teacher Superpowers. Here's the check out the website and then add a new discussion topic and then just type in what superpower you think teachers could use or that teachers have that we didn't talk about tonight. Okay, I will go back to the PowerPoint now and we shall continue here. So that was our Tech for Teaching. What did we do today? Tonight we defined teacher skills and superpowers. We reviewed backwards design. We looked at some material design websites. We discussed teaching pronunciation. We reflected on materials development and our superpowers, and we checked out the Tech for Teaching website. I know I have been doing a lot of talking tonight, so let's take a quick breakout session, take maybe about 10 minutes, and reflect on teachers that you have had in the past. What made them superheroes? So I'm going to put you in small groups, and afterwards I'm just going to ask randomly if a few people would like to share a story of a teacher you had in the past and what made them superheroes. Because remember, this whole webinar series is about reflecting. It's about thinking about the past and the lessons that you had in the past and how you can apply them to the future. So let me go ahead and put you into breakout and think about a teacher you had in the past that was a superhero and what made him or her a superhero. So in our breakout rooms, if we could try to make sure that everybody has a chance to talk. I think I'll do 10 breakout rooms. That will give us about 7 people in each room. Or maybe I'll do 12, make it a little bit smaller. So if somebody could volunteer, everybody please share your favorite superhero teacher that you've had and why, what made this teacher a superhero. And then if you want to vote on who is going to share the best story with the rest of us, because I'd be very curious to hear about Vietnamese superhero teachers. So let me go ahead and put you in the room and I will see you. It's it is 9:06. I think that means it's 10:06 your time. And we will come back in about 10 minutes. So I will put the prompt in there again, and you can tell each other. So all of you still hanging out here, go ahead and jump into your room. I see some of you are coming back. Welcome back. We'll share ideas in 21 seconds. Okay, guys, I think we're here all together again. Welcome back. We don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to ask you to please be respectful and try to just tell us in a few sentences, whoever you've nominated to be your speaker, about who their superhero teacher was and why. So let's start from the bottom. Let's start with group 12. Do I have a volunteer to tell us in a few sentences about their superhero? How about group 11? Do I have a group 11 volunteer?
Yeah, I'm from group 11 and I'm a volunteer for my group.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm very happy to share with you about your question because it inspired me a lot when I'm thinking about the past because I was taught in a very poor condition in the past and I can remember something about the past. That's why people in the past, we call the teachers were superhero, real superhero. First thing, I think the teacher in the past, they were lack of modern facility like us now, like laptop or power, projector, something like that. In the past, teacher in Vietnam mostly use it's just simple like white chalks, blackboard, course book, ruler. The ruler is, it's very meaningful for the teacher in the past. And they use handwriting lesson plans. They didn't have some kind of computer like us now. But they make history. I think they make history. They can have a lot of people in Vietnam become accomplishment. Very successful. And what I really respect the teacher was the part because they although they have poor situation and they live in with a low salary. I mean, very low salary and poor conditions. Even they didn't have, they couldn't handle for their life, but they still love their jobs and inspired a lot of generation of people in Vietnam. For example, like ours, like us now. And I think they are real superhero for me, not me. That's what I mean. Yep.
Thank you. That was beautifully said. Vietnam has such a history of literature and of being a country that produces top scholars. So I think that was lovely. Thank you. How about group number 10? How about group number 9?
Okay, so can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, so I am the presenter of group number 9, and I want to share my story about my superhero teacher. My superhero teacher was an English teacher in grade 6. She was about 45 or 50 years old. I can't remember very well, but she was, I think she was older, but she was very energetic. She could sing, she could dance, and she could play the role of any characters. And this was the first time I learned English. So it was so interesting and it was so fascinating when you see a woman like her who could dance, sing, and play the role of any characters. And she inspired me a lot. She asked us to play the role of the characters in fairy tales like Snow White and Seven Dwarfs and three little pigs. And it impressed me a lot that I wanted to become an English teacher like her. And then now I'm an English teacher, right? And in my opinion, she was my superhero teacher.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
How about group number 8?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I am the presenter of group 8, and my superhero teacher was a man, and he taught me mathematics. And he taught me for about 7 years. And the reason why he was my superhero was that the way he taught us. He could make everything that is complicated seems simple and easier to understand. And he was very intelligent, and he never criticized us. When we made any mistakes, he just suggests and he found a way that could make us discover by ourselves. And what I could respect most from him was that he could make the atmosphere of our class seemed always comfortable, and that is why I consider him a superhero teacher. Thank you. That's all.
It sounds like he has that power of deconstruction, right? He can take complicated things and make them easier. Excellent. How about group 6?
Hello. So I'm going to talk about a teacher of mine who used to be my high school teacher, but now is my colleague and at school. And So I think she's a really superpower teacher because she has the adaptability power. Because from the past when I had the chance to study with her and until now when I have a chance to be her colleague, I've seen that every year her lessons and the design of the lessons changed every year according to the level of the students. And she has the ability to come up with new ideas in a fast and spontaneous way. After just 5 or 10 minutes looking at the textbook materials. So I think that's make her a really superpower teacher to me. Okay.
How wonderful that you get to work with her. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
How about group 5? Do I have someone from group 4? How about group 3?
Hello.
Hi.
Yep. On behalf of Group 3, I would like to say something that we have discussed. I would like to say something about my teachers. It means superhero teacher in the past. Like Group 9, she shared about the teachers, and me too. My superhero teachers was an English teachers when I was in grade 6. At that time, my family moved to Da Nang city. I mean, before that, we had lived in another province in the north of Vietnam. And, my voice was strange to other people there. So I don't dare to open my mouth to speak anything because they make fun of my voice. They make fun of my dialect. So I'm really scared at that time. But the first time I attended the English class, the teachers encouraged me to speak, to repeat a word. I was brave. I repeat the words, and she gave me a very nice compliment. From that moment, I love learning English, and I admire her very much. And I think, oh, why don't I have to? Why did I have to be scared like that? No more scared. So I overcome that time, and I love learning English, and that's why I become an English teacher now. So I think that take care of individuals and care in time may change someone's life. So now I take care of every individuals in our class. In my class. That is my superhero teachers. Thank you.
What a lovely story. She definitely has the hope inducement power, I think. Could I have somebody from group 2? Or somebody from group 1?
Hello. Yes, I'm from group 1.
Please.
Yes. Hi, everyone. On behalf of Group 1, I would like to share a little bit about my superhero. I don't just have one superhero. I have a lot of superheroes in my heart. And they are the teachers I worked with when I was in university. Our teachers are very active despite their age. They are so enthusiastic, and they are always inspire us. Every time we make a mistake, they all give us suggestions, solutions to help us solve all those problems. They are always create a funny atmosphere in a classroom. Whenever they saw us bored or sleepy, they can sing or create activities to help us back to the lesson. Despite living university for more than 4 years, but I still remember their lesson. And that's all for me. Thanks for listening. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. I really appreciated that story. Did somebody from group 2 want to mention something? I don't know if you got cut off or not.
Hello, teachers and my colleagues. In my opinion, I strongly respect the teachers who teach for students who can't listen or hear at a handicapped school. Because I think teaching is a very difficult work because we have to express the lesson with a lot of difficult lesson, and with a lot of students, they have different characters. But the teacher who teaching at handicapped school is a very difficult, the most difficult. Okay, so in my opinion, I strongly respect them, and I think they are superheroes. Okay, that is my opinion. Yes. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. My mother taught learning disabled children, so I'm going to tell her that story. She will make her very happy tomorrow. Well, guys, we're almost at the end of our time here. I really, really want to share my appreciation for all of the work that you do. I know you're very, very busy and that you're taking 2 hours of your precious time to listen to me, blah, 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 blah. So thank you for your attention. I appreciate all of you, and I think you all do have superpowers. So keep up the hard work, and I look forward to seeing you all in August.